Thanks for joining us today. I'm Gabe Garish, owner of Backwoods Pursuit, and today we're going to do an Athlon Optics review here. This is the Athlon Cronus UHD 20-60 by 86 millimeter spotting scope. They make a great spotting scope, so I'm going to go over some of the specs and features here, as well as I'm going to throw the phone scope on here and we're going to look through it so I can show you just how this thing performs when you're using it out in the field. Stick around for that. I'll stick a link to this down in the description for you, as well as a link to our website, backwoodsPursuit.com. and a link to Instagram and Facebook. Those are all down in the description. And make sure you check out our huge spotting scope review to see how the Cronus did in that spotting scope review. We put it up next to 18 other spotting scopes in that review side by side. So go check that out. Link to that down in the description as well. Let's get started. All right, first let's go over some of the specs of the Athlon Cronus spotting scope here. You've got an 86 millimeter objective, UHD glass, really high quality glass, sunshade of course. You got a 20-60 magnification zoom here, and it's real nice and smooth on the magnification. On the eyepiece here, you've got a smooth eyepiece. This here does not have any click stops like some of them out there. I personally have preferred the smooth eyepieces like this. I've just found them that they have a little bit finer adjustment for you, so I really like that and really appreciate the way they've done that. Another feature here, you've got a dual focus mechanism. So this focus mechanism here that's closer to the objective is the the coarse focus, and the one that's closer to you is the fine focus. Now that's opposite some of the other dual focuses out there, say like the Kowa TSN series. They have those inverse. I find myself using the fine focus far more than the coarse. So I actually kind of like that it's closer to you, closer to the eyepiece. Not a big deal, but that it is really nice. On that, on the focus here is really nice and smooth. The coarse focus here, I did find that there was just a little bit of play in there. Now you can see that just a little bit here before you get the engagement. It's really not that bad, but there is a little bit of play in that. But you know, like I said, I find myself using the fine focus almost all the time anyways, and that's nice and tight on the fine focus. One of the things you can see instantly, by the way, when you look at it here, is just kind of the linear design. It's an angled spotting scope, but a lot of the angled spotting scopes, you have the eyepiece coming up a lot higher, so it takes up more space. And the reason that that's important or is nice is when you're putting this in your pack, you can just see it's not, it doesn't take up a lot of space on this end, so it slides right into the side pocket of your pack really well. And it is really handy that way if you're packing it around in your backpack. Another small thing I wanted to mention is the eyepiece cover. It stays on here really well. There's been a lot of spotting scopes that I've tested out in the field, and that eyepiece cover just does not want to stay on, falls off on your pack. This one stays on there really well. Just thought I'd mention that and notate that, because you know, it's an exception to, it seems like the rule in spotting scopes that eyepiece cover just doesn't like to stay on. So well done on that as well. Now the body is made of magnesium alloy and there's no rubber armor on here, so it is kind of a bummer when it's cold out and you put your hand on it. It's definitely colder to the touch than something with rubber armor, but it does save some on the weight as well. The weight on this comes in at just over 66 ounces, so it's on the heavier side. Obviously it's a big 86 millimeter spotting scope though as well, so you get that benefit and extra light gathering from this. You've got UHD glass, and again a magnesium alloy body with that, and the eyepiece here does not attach. It's not interchangeable with any other eyepiece options. Some spotting scopes out there offer that, but this one, you've got the 20-60 eyepiece available in this spotting scope. Now in the eye relief, you have a generous 17.8 to 19.8 millimeters of adjustment, so you got a ton of eye relief in this, which is really nice, and you really do see that when you're using it. It really is a comfortable eyepiece to use. Now another feature you've got with the Cronus here is a collar here. So you loosen that up and then you can turn it. Now it's kind of cool because you've got a click stop here at that 45 degree, as well as a nice defined click right at the top of that, so you can get it right back to center if you want, and then tighten it right back down. Now that we're through some of the specs, let's go over some of the likes and dislikes of this before we throw the phone scope on here. I used this over the course of the hunting season, and of course tested it for that big spotting scope review. Again, a link to that down in the description. Go check that out. This thing, for its price point, performed phenomenally. It comes in at $1,500, and it far outperformed its price point and did better than anything else in its price group as far as image resolution, edge-to-edge clarity, that sort of thing. Really, the only thing I really didn't love about this was you get a little bit more of that tunnel feel when you're looking through it, particularly at the lowers, the 20x zoom. You do get a nice crisp image, but you do get a little bit narrower field of view, or feel that way, as opposed to a wide angle lens, which it doesn't have a wide angle lens. So if this did come with a wide angle lens or an option for that, we absolutely dynamite. It is anyways. It's really a high value type spotting scope that you get a ton for your money with this. The weight's a little bit high if you're looking for something that's packable. Obviously 66 inches is a little bit on the heavy side, but at the same time, if you're mule deer hunting, glassing a long ways, need to size up a buck, it's worth carrying that weight rather than having to hike over there and find something. So definitely personal preference on that. I loved the dual focus here. I'm just a fan of the dual focus. I really found that dual focus enabled you to refine the image better than some of the barrel focuses out there, or really better than any barrel focus. The dual focus just is really nice. The fine focus wheel here just allows you to do that without having to move the entire body of the spotting scope, and just found, actually the whole group found that was a preferred focus mechanism style over the barrel focus. So something to take into consideration. Now let's grab the phone scope and throw it on here and see what kind of image we get from the Athlon Cronus. So I went ahead and threw the phone scope on, and you can see here you get a really nice image. We're at 20x right now. You get good edge-to-edge clarity, good colors, and a real crisp image. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom this into 60x now so we can see how that performs there. So here up at 60x, you can see you still get a nice crisp picture. It's a little bit darker in this image than it is in reality because the phone scope isn't situated just perfectly, but you can still get a real nice, good edge-to-edge clarity, real good colors, and just does a really nice job of resolving that image for you, even up at 60x. So that is the Athlon Cronus UHD 20-60 by 86 spotting scope. Put a link to this down in the description. And make sure you check out the website with the review where we put this up against 18 other spotting scopes, see how it ranked. Really an impressive spotting scope. Drop any questions or comments in the comment section there. We'll answer every single one of them for you. Hopefully point you in the right directions and answer any questions on this spotting scope for you. Thanks for joining us here today. We'll see you next time.